Now in the third and final part, I just need to add a little bit more texture and form to the main focal point, namely the oak tree, with some dark shadows. Add some cast shadows and a little bit of texture and detail to the foreground. Always tricky adding these final little bits. I don't want to do so much that the painting looks overworked, but not so little that the viewer can't make out what's going on. Now I need some real rich dark greens for the shadowed side of the tree, the main tree. So I'm using Winsor Blue, which will always deliver a dark green, some cadmium yellow and some burnt sienna. Although it's a fairly stiff mixture, I want it to be still flow off the brush and be a dark colour, not just thick and pasty. So the whole object of these marks is to give some form to the huge tree trunk, which is covered in ivy, and work up the shaded side of this trunk. I'll just soften the left hand edge of the shadow to indicate that it's a round bowl of the tree, and there's some deep shaded parts within the tree itself. On these occasions I like to hold the brush at the far end to give a nice free movement to the brush strokes, in keeping with the character of the tree. And I'm using a fairly small brush. Although it's recommended to use large brushes, they can actually just be a little bit awkward and clumsy sometimes. Now I need to make sure that the cast shadow of the tree is carefully joined on to the actual shadow side. So it's warm lights, a little bit of ultramarine and light red to give me a cool shadow, which is sort of very almost pencil thin from the angle I'm looking at as it goes across the field. Again, some cool darks underneath the tree in the distance to give it a sort of a round effect. Again, with a damp brush, not a wet brush, I can soften the edge, which really means I'm just wetting some of the paper for the wash to escape to and gradually dissipate. Very important to connect cast shadows to the shaded side of buildings, trees, whatever you're painting. It helps make the tree look as if it belongs to the landscape, is in the landscape rather than on the landscape. A little dark on the left hand side will help bring out again the tree trunk. And at this stage, many of the marks I'm making are prompted by the finished painting rather than the subject. Obviously I keep looking at the subject, but the decisions I make now are what will improve, strengthen the image on my painting. A little bit of cast shadow on this left hand side to cut that corner off, and then gradually fade it out into the big cast shadow from the trees behind me. And we can add a little bit of texture for the dark leaves of the sugar beet. No attempt really to be botanically accurate. It's just to add a little bit of interest and distinguish the foreground from the middle distance from the far distance. darken that a little bit more. Still wet, so you can add paint. If an area is still wet or damp, it's safe to add paint as long as it's stronger than already on the paper. This shadow will help define the slope of the bank that the tree is growing out of. Tiny bit more texturing, and if I use my finger, it's really just to smudge it so it connects to what's already on the paper. Very easy to overwork this stage, and because in the excitement of finishing the picture, it's very easy to make some thoughtless marks. Thoughtless marks which you ultimately regret. So I think we'll call that just about done. Can't really think of anything else to add that will strengthen or improve the painting. Be satisfied with having a nice afternoon, or not afternoon, a few hour or so in the field. Just a bit of warmth there as a last moment decision. These strokes are just to cover up some of the sparkle in the paper. Now I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and it might have encouraged some of you who haven't been painting outside to get out and literally paint in a field. Find a corner where you're not going to get disturbed. Choose a simple subject and just enjoy the painting and experience of painting outside. Thanks for watching. And if you have any queries or questions, please don't hesitate to get in contact via the website or on the YouTube channel. Thank you.